forgot to add this in, so this is gonna be in the beginning of the vlog. Happy St. Patrick's Day. You guys would have seen this shirt for Ken's birthday party when we did St. Patrick theme, but I totally forgot. I was gonna say happy St. Patrick's Day to you guys. Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful time. Hopefully you went out this last weekend and had some fun, and if you're, a drinker, went out and had some drinks and hung out with friends and family and just had a great time. We didn't do anything much this year other than kind of just watch the Leprechaun movies and Luck of the Irish on Disney. Just relaxing this year because I am very pregnant and I am not going out and doing anything. So I definitely meant to say that to you guys. So again, hopefully you guys had an amazing St. Patrick's Day, and let's go ahead and get into this vlog.
Taco Bell cookies. Oh!
So forgot to add this in because I know that you guys are so excited for today's video, because for months now all I have been saying is, so if we're in here with the baby, one other ultrasound so far to see the baby, so things are getting certain pictures because our baby was just flip-flop. But I'm at the point where it's like I have to take care of myself to take care of our baby. Exciting to know that next year, our baby will be here. Yep, you saw that right. Today is the day that you guys are finally going to find out the gender of our baby. The reason I kept this a secret for so long is because the last people for us to tell was Ken's family. When we initially found out, we told my family, and then Ken's family wanted to know in person. So we decided that when they came out for his birthday party, we would tell them somehow. And as you could see in the beginning of this vlog, I had my cousin make my husband Taco Bell cookies for his birthday, and I thought, what a cute idea would it be to put like a shirt that says what we're having in the box, so when he opens it to show them, they can see right away what it is. So we planned it all out. It ended up being so perfect, such a cute moment, and I absolutely loved it. But before I announce the gender, let's kind of just go back to before we found out what we were having. It was funny from the beginning. After I got pregnant, me and my husband constantly kept saying he. That was our guess, that we were having a boy. And, we kept saying, how cool would it be, to go and find out it's a boy, because we kept saying he, and we kept saying that the only reason we were saying he is because it was shorter than she. But on a real kind of level, I had it in my heart for some reason. I'm like, I'm gonna be a boy mom. My first kid is going to be a boy, and it's mostly because everybody on my side of the family has boys, but on the other side of that, Ken's sister is the only one that has kids, and she has 3 girls. So it was kind of funny because it was like half and half. 3 boys, 3 girls. It could go either way. So we always just predicted that it was going to be a boy. And we kept going back and forth on the fact if we want to know or not. We kept saying, do we want to know? Do we not want to know? So ultimately, I kind of left that up to my husband, Ken, because it was after, we found out I was pregnant, after I had my miscarriage, that he was like, maybe, I would have liked to know, if it would have, my last pregnancy would have went longer, it would have been nice to know. So he was kind of like, I don't know, maybe. So I just told him, it's up to you. Either way, I'm okay with knowing, with not knowing, whatever, is the decision you make, we will decide to do. And either way, in our hearts, boy or girl, we're gonna love our child no matter what they are. And, I was, wanting a boy more than a girl, but if we ended up, you know, finding out it was a girl, I was still going to be happy no matter what. So I decided it's up to him. So then we went to our 20-week ultrasound, and you would have seen in that video that I did tell you guys that we did find out the gender, but I didn't tell you guys that yet. And ultimately, it was a spur of a moment when the nurse asked, do you want to know? My husband was just going to say yes or no. So we were walking in, and she said, you know, we're doing the ultrasound today, and was kind of going over everything, and she said, so do we want to know the gender? And he just kind of looked at me, and he smiled, and he said, yes, we do. So we went in the room, we did all the whole ultrasound, taking all the pictures, and they put it up on the screen and said, this is what you're having. And it was so exciting. The tears were flowing. My heart just felt so big. And right now you're probably saying, but you're not telling us what it is, Deloris. Just wait, I'm getting there. So, of course, our families, like, because on my side of the family is all boys, my family wanted a girl. And because there's all girls on Ken's side of the family, they wanted a boy. So it was kind of funny that, you know, on one side they have all girls, they want a boy. On the other side they have all boys and they want a girl. So then kind of a little bit after that, Ken's parents were kind of like, you know what? If it ended up being a girl, that's okay because we already have girls. So, you know, either or, we are going to be happy. And then his sister was kind of like on the same page as like, either or, it's okay. And it was funny because one of her daughters, her oldest daughter said, I want to have a girl cousin. And then her second youngest, because she has 3 girls, so her oldest, the one in the middle, said, I want, you know, a boy because there's all girls. And her third one, she didn't really ask because she's too young to like really understand, so she wasn't going to like give her opinion. And it was funny because when she asked them, what do you want, what kind of cousin do you want, and they both said the opposite, and they asked her, and she was like, you know, whatever it is, I really don't care. We're gonna love it no matter what. So it was actually funny because I was looking up the old wives tales for like predicting the gender, and I actually did this. I wish I kind of would have did this before I would have found out, because it actually would have been like a cute like shorts to put together, like a short video. But I did it afterwards, just kind of going through it, and every single thing for the gender that we have, it was spot on. And it was just so funny to me to say like, yep, that was me, yep, that was it, yep, the heart rate was this. So it was just funny, like I was dead on the one side. So it's like if I would have done that beforehand, I think I kind of would have known what we were having beforehand. But like I said, I kind of just did it afterwards just to see, you know, if I would have done it, if I would have got a clue. And I would have definitely got a clue because I was definitely all on the one side. So like I said, our reactions to finding out was just so genuine, and we were just so happy. And we knew, like I said, in our hearts, we didn't care if it was either way. You know, we were just happy to be pregnant and be this far along and get to experience all the things we didn't get to experience the first time. So now that I've kind of chatted about everything that I wanted to chat about, and because like you would have seen in the beginning of this video, I just kept saying the baby, the baby, the baby. So let's figure out what this baby is. So let's go to the countdown.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And as you can see, we are having a little girl. I am so excited. Like I said, I was on from the beginning. I was like, we're having a boy. Everybody on my side of the family has a boy. And then Ken's like, well, everybody on my side of the family has a girl. But we kept saying he and all this stuff. So when we were in the room, there was multiple times the ultrasound tech said she saw what the gender was. And then when she asked us, are you guys ready? We said yes. And she said, do you see these little two pads? And I said, yes. And she said, do you know what that means? And we said, no. And she said, that means it's a girl. And I just like, the tears started falling. And, you know, again, like I said, I was going to be happy either way. But to know that I am going to be a girl mom is so exciting. And being able to start buying girl clothes, I have definitely bought like a few onesies and everything, and especially the one that I showed you guys as Ken was holding it up as Daddy's girl. That was one of the outfits I decided to buy for him for his birthday. And then I bought him actually another one that says Daddy's little girl as well. And it's just so cool to know that we're going to be a girl mom, and I'm excited for the experience for that and everything that's going to go into that. And, you know, I think just because I had it in my head that we were going to have a boy, it was just like a surprise that it was a girl. And, you know, I'm going to have a little mini-me, which is kind of scary, just with how, you know, my attitude and stuff. It'll be interesting to kind of see who she's like. Is she, you know, crazy and outgoing and everything like her mommy is? Or is, you know, she going to be quiet and calm like her daddy is? And then, you know, thinking more into like, who is she going to look like? You know, her eye color, her face, her hair, just like everything that goes into it. It's just like so exciting to, you know, be like, what is she gonna look like? And it's exciting now that when I do these videos, I can say her and she and not hide it anymore. Like I said, I was just keeping a secret till we told everybody, and now that everybody knows, I was like, I can officially tell you guys. And it's funny because I know that there are a lot of people who do, you know, the gender reveal parties or the cake or the balloons, and me and Ken were just kind of like, we're not gonna do that. We, you know, it's our first kid, our first child after, you know, the miscarriage, and we just want it to be kind of like sentimental and special to us. So for us to find out and then just kind of tell our families, and then, you know, let our families tell aunts and uncles and grandparents and everything like that, was just the way we wanted to do it, because it was more sentimental towards us in that way. And me and him are just not the type to throw a party or do the cake or balloons. That's just not who we are. So we just decided to do it simple and cute and small, and the way that would mean most to us. So like I said, we found out the day of our 20-week ultrasound. And that day, when I came home, I videoed my mom. I showed her the ultrasound picture that said it was a girl. She called my dad, and I told my dad. I told my grandma that day as well, just like, we're having a little girl. And it's also so funny because on my side of the family, my cousin Andy, who made the cookies, she's the only one that has a daughter. So her daughter has a bunch of cousins that are all boys. So it's kind of nice that now she'll have another cousin that's a girl. That's not just adding on to the boys, but it's also just like cute that we're just adding another girl to Ken's side of the family as well. So, you know, my parents and my family wanted a girl, and they are all very excited about that. So, you know, after telling them, I told my sister, I called her and I showed her, and her kids are super excited. And my youngest nephew was actually like, oh, I wanted a boy because then I don't want a girl. But we just kind of, you know, laughed, and we're like, well, you're getting what you're getting. And like I said, Ken's family, you know, first wanted a boy, and then kind of was like, you know, it's okay if you guys end up having a girl, because we have all girls, so maybe it's just that easier that way. And they were just really excited to find out that we are having a girl. So everybody is just very excited. I do have names picked out, and we actually do have one name in particular that I will not be sharing. because we are not telling anybody until she is born what her name is, but that is just kind of special for us. I had picked out 4 girl names and like 2 or 3 boy names, and then on top of the list I had 1 girl's name that was like, I wanted this one, this is what I want, and then a boy's name, this is what the name would be if we have a boy. So like I already had names picked out and all that stuff, but it's, you know, nice to know that we're having a girl, and now she has her name. And, you know, like I said, I went on and looked up these old wives' tales for gender prediction, and it was funny because for a girl, it said you carry high, which I definitely am, severe morning sickness, which I definitely had. That was like the worst of the first trimester going into the second. Soft skin and warm feet. I don't necessarily know if I had that or experienced it. Like, I don't really remember. So that one I really didn't know. Slower hair and nail growth, which I kind of think that's true because my nails usually grow really fast, and they were kind of growing, I think, a little bit slower over time, but they were really, really strong. So that might also be, you know, part of that too. Heart rate above 140, which hers was definitely like, I think it was like 150, 160. Like, it was really high when we first found out. So that was definitely in there. It says mood swings and emotional changes. That's for sure. And it was funny because I was reading through these with Ken, and he was like, yep, that was totally you. It says urine colors dull and cloudy. Really wasn't paying attention to that. Sleeping on your right side. That one I could kind of give to the fact that I have sciatica pain on my left side, so I try not to sleep on that side as much. But I think overall, sleeping patterns, even when I wasn't pregnant, I always liked sleeping on my right side more than my left. So maybe if we would have been pregnant with a boy, that would have changed. And then it says the ring test moves in a circle. We never did that. I know that some people do that, but it was funny because, you know, or I skipped this one, craving sweet treats, which is absolutely chocolate, fruits, pastries. That's me. I love my sweets. So it was just funny, like on the other side of that, like for a boy, carrying low, little to no morning sickness, craving salty and savory, dry hands, cold feet, fast hair and nail growth. The heart rate was below 140, moody, not really, you know, sleeping on your left side. So it was just funny, like I said, if like I would have done this beforehand, I kind of probably would have known that we were maybe gonna have a girl, because all the stuff they say for a girl is definitely what I was experiencing. So like I said, I'm just so excited to be able to finally share it with you guys. I'm so excited for, you know, these future videos to be able to say her and she. And after the baby shower vlog, I will be putting together a vlog of my sister, my family's coming out, my sister's family and my parents are coming out, and me and my sister, my mom, are gonna go out shopping. So, you know, I can show us buying, you know, girl stuff and girl clothes and whatever we kind of, you know, buy after the baby shower. You know, some of the things like if we want to get here and there, but it'll be fun to be able to show that now and be able to put kind of like videos together for you guys, or short form videos together, you guys, of getting girl stuff. So I was so excited to sit down and talk to you guys today about it and kind of just share everything and finally just let you guys know. So I am just so excited to be a girl mom, and I'm so excited for her to be here in June and get to see her and just experience everything that you would experiencing being a girl mom. And hopefully, you know, one day we have a boy and I can have that experience too. But as much as I was like, oh, maybe I don't want a little mini me because that kind of scares me, I am just really excited. And I know that Ken is really excited, and we can't wait to meet her and bring her home and just experience what it's like for us to be parents for the first time. So thanks for letting me sit down today and share that we are having a baby girl. And I will talk to you guys again real soon.